And then I like to just check that it went. It says we are live. But I like to make sure on the YouTube end.
And do you see the YouTube comments from YouTube show up here?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you've never been in StreamYard before. So you should be able to. It looks different on your end than mine for the host and the participant, but you should be able to see where like a background chat and then a like YouTube chat. Okay. I think we are good, but we are here today to discuss Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell, which is what Ruby chose for, what month is it? September. And yeah, I'm excited to hear what everyone thought. I was telling Ruby that my opinions could easily be swayed based on what other people say still, so I'm excited, like I said, just to hear what everyone else thought. Do you want to describe this book? Do you want me to attempt to describe this book?
Oh, I can.
You want to introduce yourself first?
Okay.
Because I know some of the links I've left for you. Like when I first created the graphics, you were still Ruby Huber, just your name, and now you're under Ruby Red. So
yeah, I'm Ruby Red. That's my booktube channel, and I picked this book. I read a lot of different genres, so I was excited to like hop onto this book club and like shake things up a little.
I'm excited to have you. I do think this was different than anything else we've read. It was more historical, which obviously the whole point when I created this was to try different things. So I'm not sure that that's gone in my favor in previous months, but I've been trying a lot of different things.
It's noble.
I've been trying.
Yeah, so I picked Hamnet because I had been dying to read it. I had heard really good things about it, and I love historical fiction, especially when it's sort of like a retelling, reimagining. Yeah, like I think that's becoming one of my favorite genres. So sorry, that was a really close airplane.
That's okay. I live close to a train, so I'm always scared a train's gonna go by. I guess I had also heard really good things about this. Like I had told you, I actually know people in real life who had read this before you picked it for this book club. And just like in general, I've heard amazing things. I think as the book club started reading it, I was hearing not so excited things. I think the club as in general enjoyed it less than I've seen previously, but I had heard amazing things of this. Were you familiar with Hamlet at all before this?
The play or the
yeah.
Yeah.
The play.
Yeah. I have.
Okay.
I do really like Shakespeare, and I have read and or seen a lot of plays over the years.
I mean, I feel like Shakespeare pops up as a secondary thing in a lot of like stuff I read, but I have zero knowledge. Basically, I had asked the person I know who had read this before if I needed Shakespeare knowledge, and she said no, but she gave me one bit of information that she was like, you just might want to know this, which I'm not sure if it's a spoiler.
I feel like if it's a Shakespeare play, like you can't be spoiled.
Like basically what she told me before is you should know that like Hamlet died.
Oh.
Or like that there was the death.
Right.
Like you should have the background knowledge of that. And so I was like, okay, so that's what I knew going in.
Yeah.
Which this isn't really I know before we had read it, Stasia had asked if this was a retelling, and at the time I had said no. But if you know the play, do you think this was like a retelling or like a influenced by?
I think just influenced by. I wouldn't call it a retelling, really. Okay. Especially because I feel like it was so much less about Hamnet than about his mom.
I agree. I guess.
So
should we share
anything?
Share our ratings on the book?
Sure.
I think I saw yours, but I don't remember what it was.
No, because I finished it.
Did you post it?
recently. No, I didn't.
Oh no, you didn't. So I'm not. Your rating is not what I'm thinking of. I've seen other people's.
Should I go first?
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna
What
give it
did you
5
give
stars.
it? Okay. I'm happy for you. My whole thing is I tell every host to pick something that is in their comfort zone. So like 5-star prediction for you. So
Yeah.
I'm always expecting that the host is going to like it. Like when I picked my own book, I hated the book and I was like, oh no.
Oh,
So I'm happy that the book you picked you enjoyed.
yeah, I think it's
I'm
like
really
one of
excited to hear what you have to say, like actual opinions on things then, knowing that you gave it 5 stars. I gave it, like, realistically, I don't round up, so I would give it 2 stars, but it was very close to a 3-star.
Oh my god.
But
Wow.
I think that you will understand why, just like as we talk about it. Like this was not set up. And again, the whole point of the book club is for me to try different things. This was not set up to be something that I enjoy.
Well,
Basically. It's
the book club has
okay.
been doing you so dirty.
And I'm like, oh no. And I always feel bad like when someone like you picks a book to be like, oh, you picked this for me to read. I hated it. And I definitely did not hate this one, but yeah. I think on my call pile, if you're familiar with that, that's what I used to rate. It was like a 2.8 something. So it was fairly high. Fairly high 2-star.
Yeah, very high twos. That's good.
I'm excited to hear what you have to say, just in general. Do you want to say more thoughts first, or I have to, and then you can give your praises either way.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to know what went wrong for you.
So, firstly, like just going into this in general for me, and how it was not set up for me to enjoy in the first place, is as soon as Stasia said that it did have long chapters, I was like, oh no. And then I just think in like the formatting of this, I thought it was weird because there would be like semi-short chapters and then really long ones. And then after the death, it was just like one chunk. Like one really long chunk, which I just didn't really enjoy the formatting of that. I also thought that what I thought this book was going to be before going into it was going to deal a lot more with the grief, and there was a lot more like before than I was expecting. It's not a very long book though, so like, can I fault it for that? Not really sure. It's like right at 300 pages. And then I have always said that I don't like flowery writing. And I know that a lot of people, like, that's like what someone's going to say is like, this was written so beautifully. Like, this was, you know, she's such a good writer. And to me, it's like, I don't like that. Like, I feel like that's why I like thrillers so much. It's a very like bland, straightforward. And this was very, I also don't really like the word flowery. So I try to describe it more as like overly descriptive, very,
a lot more imagery than action.
yeah. And it didn't feel like there was like not much dialogue, not much. It just made everything feel clunky, even though I was listening to the audiobook. I know that if I tried to physically read this, it would not have worked. Like I would not have been able to.
Yeah.
So that's basically what didn't work for me.
That's fair.
And so I think that makes me struggle to follow the plot. So I want to know what you have to say about the plot that I can be like, yeah, I guess I did see that. Because I do think I followed it somewhat well, but I was never like so into it.
I think one of the things also with the audiobook is that, because one of my friends did listen to the audiobook and we were talking about it the other day, and she was like, the time jumps were so confusing because there's no indication that it's like we're going back in time. And there wasn't like like without any like titles or dates at the chapters, like I was like sometimes didn't see it coming, but I could see how that would be also confusing. But I think the other thing is that like not that much happens plot wise.
Yeah.
And like that's also something that I like in books, like when like nothing happens. Like I love that.
Right.
So yeah, I was ready for this to be very divisive.
I do think that's like where our taste would differ though, because I know there's books that we both like love. And this wasn't set up to be one of those.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely the imagery too, like the writing, like this like so descriptive. Like I love that. I was like, oh my gosh. Wow.
Right. I mean, that's like I acknowledge that that's a me thing.
Yeah, I mean,
because I would never say that I
thing.
think this is bad. Like right. I would recommend this to so many people, but not to me.
Wow, yeah. Aside from that, though, one like I don't know, something I guess I was curious about. Well, I guess like if you want me to just summarize the plot really quick, would that help?
Yeah.
So we're following mostly Agnes in her. We have some time jumping, of course, but Agnes, as she is as a young woman, encountering this young man at her stepmother's farm, and she sort of has a tendency towards like a sixth sense. She has very strong intuition, and she's like all about listening to that, and so she feels drawn to this guy, and they end up through this convoluted method, I guess, getting married because she's pregnant. And then she moves in with his family, and they kind of are horrible. And she does have 3 children, and she always knew she was going to have 2 children, so you kind of are like worried for her the whole time because she's like, I thought I was going to have 2, but now I have these 3. I had this set of twins. And then one of them becomes really sick, and that's not the one that dies. Spoiler.
Right. Which yeah, spoilers are fine at this point. That like up to that point is completely like I didn't think any of that was going to be in the book, and that took a lot of the like that's the first half.
Yeah.
Like I didn't think we would be getting the couple at a younger age. I thought we would be coming into a married couple.
Right. And also with such an unestablished Shakespeare, like to be looking at his life before he was Shakespeare, and also that she never says his name the whole time.
Yeah.
I liked. It's like, yeah.
I mean, I like that.
But like the way that her and her family moved through that grief and that loss was like just a small part of the book.
Like a big positive for me, I would say was, or that stood out a lot to me was what you said about she had another child who was very sick, and she gave a lot of attention to that child, and then it was a different child who ended up dying, and just the whole topic about like I ignored him because I didn't think it was going to be him. I thought it was going to be her, and I thought that whole thing was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like
she played favorites to the wrong one, and then like had a lot of regret about that.
Yeah. Ugh.
I don't know.
Oh, so sad. I did cry. I was reading this.
You did?
Twice.
Oh no. No. I don't like, even as this is completely off topic, but a lot of people said not to read what is that book called? Shoot. Like I'm trying to talk about a book and I can't think of the name of the book. And I know I own it, so I'm trying to look for it quick.
What does the cover look like? Let me guess.
What is that book? It's the one where like she thinks her child is like. Oh my gosh, never mind, I guess. But it's where like she doesn't love her kid. And people are like, don't read this if you're pregnant. Like she basically has like no connection to her kid.
Yes.
What is that book called?
Is that like a
It's a 2021 release, I think.
Yeah, it's a new one. Well, I'll never remember it.
One, I'm having a crisis that I can't even find it on my shelves. But people were like, don't read that if you're pregnant. Like, it's going to scar you. And I was just like, oh, okay, I'm going to read it while I'm pregnant. And it didn't affect me. And so same with this, like death of a child just like didn't really hit. I feel like that's not something that hits me. It probably should be.
Well, yeah, like as I was reading, I was like, dang, I really picked a rough one.
Luckily, it's not like a trigger for me, I guess. So, but Adriana did say I went into this book right after Percy Jackson and felt like I was reading a different language. And I feel that a little just like with all like British UK based things, especially the audiobook is like spoken in an accent. But I caught on quick. Yeah.
And like so again, like with the so descriptive, very like this was a language heavy book. So after reading it.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I don't think I would have been able to get through it reading it with my eyes. Even like I just flipped to a page and like something is described as griddle cakes, which I would assume is a pancake.
Yeah, I think like vintage.
I guess so. To you, like, what stood out the most about the plot, or like, yeah.
Well,
it's like you said, it's very plot heavy.
Yeah. So, and I like that, like, just like slice of life almost. Like, we just get a little taste of like what's going on in the 15 whatevers. As far as like just like day to day, which is what I like.
Like you were interested in their marriage?
I guess like even just like in the
family life?
Yeah, the family life and like the customs, I guess. Just like I ended up going on like such a dive into like the guilds and like the wool thing, like they're smuggling wool in the attic. Like what's that? And that's like
I guess I'm like not an inclined reader in that way.
I just love trivia, so
so next time there's a question about it, you'll know.
Yeah, exactly. But I like what I like loved was the imagery, like all of the different times that she brings it back to like water and like bodies of water, and then even like there's a scene where young Susanna is like playing, like she's pretending she's in a river under the table while her parents are like having a fight, and she's like I don't know, just like was showing up everywhere, and I just thought it was beautiful.
Like I guess I wasn't even like picking up on that.
I mean,
like that's just the way I.
And if you're not
if
you're not like motivated by like that like description heavy writing, like I feel like you end up maybe like skimming over a lot of it or like not remembering it probably.
Right. Because to me, the only other things that stood out about the plot or the ending when like all of a sudden they're wealthy and they're moving and he has this play and she's realizing that this play is about like her son and she's mad at him at first.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess what was interesting about that is that it felt like their marriage was so distant. Like
Yeah.
Like, she still felt so, like, attached to him, I guess, but, like, they were never together, and he
I
had
mean,
this
to
whole
me, that was like proving that the way that they were grieving him was so different. And they weren't together after he died because he went away. But also, like, right before all of this, she's talking about him being unfaithful,
Mhm.
and then her still, like, I don't know. That's hard for me to. Again, that's a
Yeah.
thing of, like, the times too. Of, like, men would go away and be
Right, like,
unfaithful, and it was like that was what it was, and but
yeah, like,
I'm
he
his wife
lived,
kind of
like,
thing. I don't
separate.
know.
Yeah.
Because to me, the proving of, like, they were like, they fell in love and fought to be together when they were so young, but then their marriage is just, like, blah after this is like, that's a frustrating storyline for me.
Yeah, well, and she put so much into trying, like, when she saw how their married life was and, like, his dad and that, like, shadow, like, she was pushing, she
Mhm.
was, like, trying to figure out how to save him, basically. She was like, "How can we fix
Right.
this? What can we do?" And then once he's out, he's just like, "I'm out. We'll buy a house in 10
Yeah.
years."
Right, like, just bye.
Yeah, rough.
But that's the times too, like, that was normal.
Yeah. I
Like, he
did
was gonna go away and work.
yeah. I did expect there to be some witch stuff, like witch hunty stuff happen. So I was kind of
Yeah.
glad that we didn't get into that because I was like, we don't need that in this. Let's just be sad. We don't need witches.
I mean,
Which
we, like, talked about, like, the Sixth Sense thing in front of quite a few people, I feel like, and it was never, like, nobody had, like, there's never a huge reaction to it. Like, it was just this thing that
yeah,
happened, which to me also kind of felt like it was, I don't know what I wanna say. Like, not there for no reason, but, like, could have been used as something more interesting in the plot.
oh, so a witch hunt would have been a good
Maybe.
plot.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or at one point it's brought up who said that they were seeing, like, a boy
Yes, like
walking by the house, I think it
saw.
was, and then Judith was the one who was like, "I never told my mom because she wanted to keep it for herself," basically.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
I followed that correctly?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, what I'm getting basically is that you also didn't feel like there was much of a plot, but the writing really worked for you. Like, the
Yeah.
descriptions, and you made more connections than I did, probably because you were more into it as you were going along.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, and I just like, yeah, like plot, like who needs a
Who
plot?
cares? And I'm like, plot, that's what I need.
Like, life doesn't always have a plot. We're just here,
I get it. I do get it.
But
But it's
I was really shocked that she went to see the play. I was like, oh my god. I didn't see that coming at all.
you were shocked she, like, showed up and sat through it?
Yeah. I just didn't expect
Oh, I wasn't.
like, because we had been so like ignoring kind of like
Yeah,
Shakespeare.
what he was doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it had to go there, though. Like, to me,
Yeah, it was
if
like
she did not do that, there would have been no point. Like, how would the book have ended if she did not do that?
yeah, that's true. I don't know. I don't know what else we could have done.
Like, if it didn't come around to, like, the whole Shakespeare thing and the plays, it would have been like...
And, like, truly, what are we doing here?
He moved me to this house, and I was still sad, and everything was... Like, I don't know.
No, that's probably true. You're right. I think you're right.
I felt like the play thing had to come around eventually.
Yeah.
And I do think that the end was well done with, like, her emotions through, like, seeing this and being like, what is this? Like, I think that was good.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah. Again, like, the imagery, like, going to London to the Globe Playhouse when you've, like, never left your little farm town to see this play, and she just, like, barges right in. I was like, oh my god. Chaos.
Again, like, I'm...
Like, she's never seen more than, like, 40 people together at once.
I want more drama. I wanted more drama than this had. I wanted the witch hunt. I wanted... Like, even I feel like if she would have had, like, a... Maybe. Like, if she would have had, like, a gossipy friend, or...
Yeah.
But it felt a lot like she was just, like, alone and had this, like, crappy home life and all these tragic things.
Yeah. She did.
But no gossipy friend. I'm here for the gossipy friend.
More side characters.
Right. Honestly, maybe that... Add that to, like... Maybe that's what I needed. Like, maybe it was too small of a circle.
Yeah. It's a very insular setting with not a lot of action. But because
the only time she really, like, goes out... Oh, the what?
The flea thing.
Oh.
So bad.
Again, like, that's totally something about, like, how you read versus I read, because I never would have thought anything of it. I never would have... I don't know.
Like...
It never would have stuck out to me like it did to you.
I just liked that cause and effect that she was trying to organize. She was like, we never would have had this play, maybe, if, Shakespeare's son hadn't died, so let me write a book about that. But while I'm here, like, nothing happens unless something else happens. But then to, like, really do it, and then not even really research the life cycle of the flea, I just... disappointing.
So you thought it was under research?
I mean, I guess there was definitely a lot of research to be done to write this. So I'll cut some slack, I guess. But.
All right. Well, any other thoughts about this book before we wrap it up? I'm genuinely so happy that you loved it. And I'm trying to think who I could recommend this to, because I hear so many good things, and I know there's people who would love this. So, like I said, I would never say that I thought this was bad.
Yeah, I mean, taste is... You like what you like.
Right. No other thoughts?
No, I think I got it all out.
Okay. I mean, you gave it 5 stars, so I feel like you could have expressed love more than you did. But I get the kind of story it is, and that it's not like you can't explain why, but it just worked or didn't work. So I get it.
I mean, what I loved about it was just a couple sentences here and there.
Right.
That just,
but it hit.
It hit so good.
You cried, so
I cried twice.
Me, if you cried, it probably is worth a 5 star.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that, there is no book next month. I've generally been doing like 3 months at a time and then 1 month off. So I do have hosts picked for November, December, January. I haven't really announced them yet, but I do have 3 people picked, but they have not picked their books yet. So yeah, just keep an eye out probably within the next couple weeks. I know it's nice to have as much notice as possible. In the next couple weeks, I will post a little video with the next 3 hosts and the next 3 books. I think it'll be good ones. I think it'll be stuff different than we've read in the book club so far even. So good
Looking
things.
forward to it.
Yes, I hope you will continue to join when you can.
I will
And
do my
I
best.
am going to end this, and I'll see you in 2 months.
Okay.